Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
We're back.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Trying to stay warm. We're getting like a frigid, the Arctic air in Florida now, so
It's
kind of
crazy. It's crazy cold. But we're here. We made it. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We're live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all platforms, and we're so excited that some folks are already starting to jump on. Bernard, it's been really cold. And what were we doing today? What was the day like this morning?
It was awesome. Long day today. We got a chance to, fortunate, blessed to actually do entrepreneurial workshop for high schoolers, right? Which is very exciting. They were very excited about that, and I love spending time with the youth, man, because there's a lot of things that that we weren't taught when we were younger, right? And like one thing is like even going to I guess all the clients who said that hundreds of clients, over probably 1,000 clients plus in our career. But one thing we get every single time that we got a chance to speak to someone that's either in his 40s or 50s, 60s, or 70s is, I wish someone showed me what you just showed me when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. My life would have took a whole different turn. So one thing we want to do is just kind of really make sure that the youth knows about the financial education, because a lot of our parents haven't. We didn't get it. And a lot of our parents didn't get it also. So making a big difference, that was very, very exciting for me.
You did such a great job. I mean, the other entrepreneurs that went spoke, and it was fantastic. But I had to get a little bit for the podcast today. Is that okay if I show a little clip?
Little clip. You didn't catch you playing volleyball or anything, did you?
Yeah. Listen, our host was playing volleyball with the students. It was such a great morning. Hi to those that are watching on Instagram. Let me put a quick little 30-second. I'm like, I got to do this for the podcast because they need to see that you're literally you spoke to these teens the exact same thing that you've shared even with us.
The most powerful rule that will impact your life. When I learned this rule, it totally changed my life. Something called the rule of 72. What it tells you, very simple ways, that if you take the interest, you're saving and investing your money, if you divide that into the number 72, it will tell you how many years it takes your money to double, right? So if someone's saving and investing their money, they get a 3% rate of return. 3 to 72, their money doubles every 24 years.
Every 24 years. And you were talking about the rule of 72. You know how many times we've heard that here?
Yes, exactly. It's more to this day. I mean, I must have talked about the rule of 72 thousands of times, and every time I talk about it, I'm just blown away the power of the rule, and I'm so blown away how many people don't I've ever heard. I think I've done it thousands of times, maybe once. I can count in a handful. Handful. Sometimes, yes, I heard this rule before. I know what it means. Most people have never heard of rule 72.
Yeah, I never did until you taught it to us.
Absolutely, it's true. Wow,
wild. So it was great. It was an awesome morning. Speaking about, it's a great time for them to start thinking about entrepreneurship.
Yes, absolutely. And this is exactly what piggyback while we talked. I was thinking, what should we cover today? And if you think in the past couple, we talked about number one when we had the ladies did an incredible job sharing about their journey entrepreneurship, and we talk about the reason that was affecting people last week entrepreneurship, and we wanted to take a step further, kind of coach, because one of the things that we talk about that stops people from winning. What are some things that stop people, or some of the mindset that we all have that keep us from actually succeeding and going forward to where we need to go for it? And those are the same fears I had in the beginning that I just want to share with one day and show you ways we can overcome them that can make a big difference. you know. And the topic is, this is our time. This is your time. This is your time. Okay. And what are some things that can stop us from winning and just in life in general? Number one is small thinking. I think
Mm,
small thinking stop us from winning. What? Because what happens to most people, people operate within a context of the vision they have for themselves. What happens is your income will never outgrow your self development. See what happened if you have a small vision of who you are, what you can accomplish, things you want to be. You'll never be any more than that. If you ever see yourself as I'm only this, I'm only that, I can only make this much. What happened? You'll never actually make any more than that. Okay,
mhm.
so you got to have a bigger vision. You have to have a bigger vision of yourself. And that's something that takes time. Number one, small vision. The second thing is negative self-talk.
Wow, that's a big one.
Self-talk. 80% of our self-talk is usually negative. It's
Mhm,
negative, right? Think about most of us, like if you think about it, and I always ask someone, listen, if you had a friend
mhm.
that speaks to you the way you speak to yourself, how much longer would they be your friend?
Oh, come on. That's so good. Think
Exactly.
about it.
If you had a friend that speaks to you the way you speak, things that we, oh, you're terrible, you're dumb, you're stupid, you can't get anything right, and this and that, and all the things that we say to ourselves on a regular basis, right? And you have to
Mm,
be very mindful of your self-talk. And I had to work hard doing that because I used to have negatives. I was like, you're too young, you keep messing up, you keep making mistake, you can never do it, you can never succeed. And I had to really work hard, right? To control yourself. Sometimes you have to like shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, right? I'm sitting there talking to myself here. People think I'm crazy. I'm because even to this day, you still have doubt, right? You ever had this cartoon, right? You had this little red person here, and you had a little angel here, right? And the red person that doing bad thing. You see the cartoons when younger, right? And angel said, "No, don't do it." It's the same thing that we have on a consistent basis. Sometimes you have to stop listening to yourself.
right.
Sometimes you have to stop listening to you. This is why it's very important to listen to people that catch you at a different level in you, because you have to stop listening to yourself. Because think, how many of us have talked ourselves out of something we really wanted to do? You really
Mm,
wanted to do something, you were passionate about it, and you talked yourself out of it.
out of it.
You you kind of justify why, why you shouldn't do it, right?
Hmm. It's
And
that
that
angel and it's the angel and the devil on the side.
all right, that's all right. You see the cards, the funny cartoons, right? Exactly. Especially Tom and Jerry cartoons, right? Those
Yep.
are funny ones, right?
Yep.
See, inner conversation will kick you in the butt and tell you can't do anything,
Yeah.
right? It'll kick you in the butt. Say you can't do anything, you can't do that, right? And not feeling worthy. And I think that's one of the things, that not feeling worthy of success. And I think before, if you don't feel you're worthy of success, and what happens if you have sometimes low self-esteem, you don't feel like you deserve success. Maybe you feel like, well, because the things I told you, only people that have this kind of degree become successful, this and that. You hear all these different things, right? And you can never be someone because of the negative self image that you had, things that people have said to ourselves, right? I always say I always say you need to question everything. And the Bible tells you need to question. You need to question, where is it?
Test.
Where are these thoughts coming from? Where did it
Hmm.
come from? Because every thought has a genealogy.
Hmm.
That means it came from somewhere. Every
Mm,
thought has a genealogy. It came from somewhere, and you have to question, where did this come from?
that's so good.
Where does it come from? And that's something that not feeling worthy is very, very powerful. If you look at the next slide, what are some things that can hold us back, right?
Mhm.
Again, negative environment.
Mm,
Negative environment. Sometimes most people are in a negative environment, right? See, do not ever let somebody's opinion of you become your reality. I'm gonna say it again. Do not ever let somebody's opinion you become your reality,
mm,
right? And that's something. What happens is people care what people think sometimes, right? And those are things that I'd be very careful. I used to be that way. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to worry about. I got to the point in my life, and my life totally changed when I stopped caring what people thought.
mm,
Even to this day, I'm like, I don't really care. I just
mhm.
no energy. I really don't care. And it's hard because you have to, because we want to, but you have to get to that point, because you may let that stop you. And a lot of time is their insecurities.
Right.
So people will project their insecurities into you. Sometimes they're afraid to go in after it. They're afraid to do it. So they're going to project because maybe they didn't go for their goals themselves, right? So they're going to project that into it. You can't do it either, right? Never let someone's opinion doesn't mean anything at all. Anything at all, right?
Mhm.
Anything at all. And I've learned that. And number 4, let fears take over. Fears, right? If you think about the acronym of fear, right? We hear false evidence appearing real. That's
Yes.
the sense of false evidence. We hear that all the time. False evidence appearing real. People, right? Or forget everything and run. Right?
Forget everything and run.
That's what we do. And check this out. There's only 2 fears that we're born with. Only 2 fears. When you're a baby, there's only 2 fears you're born with: loud noises and falling. Loud noises and falling. And if you think about, all of us are designed for success, but we've been programmed and conditioned to fail by society. We are all designed for success, but we've been programmed and conditioned to fail by society. If you think about what is the instinct of a baby, even falling, check this out. What does a baby do? Right? The first thing when baby first thing they try to do is walk, right or wrong. They try to take first steps and walk. What happens to them? They fall. Right? And what happens? They don't stay down. They get back up and try again, and they'll fall 100 times, but they'll keep getting back up, because the instinct of a baby is to walk.
Right.
I'm gonna get up, and I keep trying until I walk, because that's a baby's instinct to never give up, because I'm supposed to walk. What happens if you think about us? If all of us, if you were an adult, if you put an adult mindset, you put in a baby, I promise you 90% of us will still be crawling right now.
Wow.
90%. If you put an adult mindset and you put in a baby, right? If you go back, it was like, oh, you fall, I should crawl my whole life. That's it. I'm not supposed to walk, right? And that would happen a lot of times, right? Fear of failure, fear of success, right? We have fear of failure, right? Some people have they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to fail. But what if I fail? Well, what if you don't? What if you don't? Right? Another thing is we call fear of success. There's actually fear of success. People are scared. There is a thing. Like, there is a fear of success. People are scared to become successful. They are scared, right? Let me tell you fear of success. When you start going in the right direction, you sabotage yourself. When you you do something like self-sabotage, right? And what happens when you start doing that? Because you have fear of success. Or you start doing something, having success, and your friends will tell, well, you're different. You're not spending time with it anymore. You're not doing that. And guess what happens? You go back to where you're supposed to be. And you have that fear, and you want to go back. Instead of just pushing forward, you have fear of success. That cripples people too, right? All the time. Number 5, procrastination, right? Procrastinating, thinking that we have all day, thinking that, man, I can do it tomorrow. I can do it next week. It's not the right time. It's never going to be the right time to take the step. The right time is now, right? See, procrastination, I believe, is the assassination of inspiration, right? What happened? The more you procrastinate, the more you say you put things off, the less likely you are to do it. And there's a great book called The 5-Second Rule, which I think, which is very powerful. And what it tells you, it says, if you think of doing something, what happened? Your brain, you got 5 seconds. Do it right away. Something, 5 seconds. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The longer you wait, the less likely you are to do it.
The longer you wait, the less likely you are to
do it.
5-second rule.
And if you have to call someone, say, I'm afraid, but do it right away. You're thinking of someone, right? You have someone you're thinking of. Man, this person will be good, right? And boom. And you're thinking like, then you start right?
Yeah, you can create excuses why not to do it.
You justify. I remember sometimes, a lot of times, like people would go, like, let's say in the business, they want to meet new people, prospect, and they see, man, this person looks sharp. This lady looks sharp. I want to talk to them, right? And you take the first step. You're about to talk to them, right? And guess what happened? You get scared because guess what? Then you stop yourself. And guess what happened? You start playing the scenario. They won't be interested anyway. They'll be good. They'll be this. They'll be that. And we justify why we shouldn't do something, right or wrong.
So
that
true.
happens time again. Listen, and we talk about something very powerful. The wealthiest place on earth right? If you ask, what is the wealthiest place on earth? They would say, well, it's not the oil fields of Saudi or the Middle East. It's not the diamond mines of South Africa. It's not the Wall Street and wealthiest place. The wealthiest place on earth is actually the graveyard. That is the wealthiest place. Why is that? Because how many talents, ideas, dreams that just died with people? People had dreams inside them. They had talents. They had ideas that could change the world, that could change their life, change from generation to generation, and they never went after it.
Right.
Right? They never went after it. It just died with them. That happens time and time again. Right? Exactly. And what are some things? How can we do to change that? How can we do to go and listen? It is just so important. This is part of one of the most powerful scriptures that you can read that gets people, because a lot of people say, well, I tried this, I tried that, I tried this, right? You got to stop trying. What happens, the problem with people is they try. When you try and when you say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to try that, you automatically you got to do it. You got to train yourself. You have to change your mindset from trying to training. Trying to train you, because when you're trying to do something, you're trying to do something that you're not. You're trying to be someone that you're not. But when you're training yourself, you're already that person. You're getting stronger.
Yeah.
And there's specific scriptures when self-discipline, which I think is 1 Corinthians, right, 9, 24, and 27. Some people say, well, what does the Bible talk about success? It says, here's what it tells you. It tells you, do you not know that in race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? So what it's telling you is it came from Paul, right? It tells you what you have to compete. Not only faith-wise, you have to be able to not compare, you have to be the best, right? You have to run in such a way as to get the prize. Right? Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training.
Yes.
Strict training. That means for us in every aspect, whether it's spiritual aspect, business, you got to get into strict training. What does athlete do in strict training? They let out the negative. They don't spend time. They're so focused. They spend time with their trainers. They spend time with their coaches. They spend time with other athletes, right? They get into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But if we do it to get a crown that will last forever, that means here's what happens. It means different things, right? What he meant is that if you go out there and you train yourself spiritually, makes sense, you'll be able to succeed. And it's the same thing you can apply to business. Think about that, right? Everybody wakes up in the morning, goes to work for a job for someone that will not last.
Yeah.
Someone else. Right? You wake up in the morning, you're committed, you lose sleep, and you're focused for something that would not last. That means it won't last forever. That means something happens in your job, it goes away with you. If something happens, they can get rid of you any day. See, if people take the same energy and intensity and they apply it to themselves in their life, guess what happened? They can do something. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. That means you have to walk on purpose. Everything has a purpose to it. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave. So after I preach to others, I myself will not be disqualified from the prize. That is what is teaching. What Paul actually is the one that you wrote 1 Corinthians. He said, listen, that means you're supposed to train yourself. Anything you want to do, anything you want to accomplish in your life, you're supposed to train yourself to be that person. Whatever you want, train yourself. And let's talk about some training right now.
I love it. I literally was going to say a few moments ago, honey, what is it that Yoda says? And he actually did put it. There is no try, only do. Thinking about Star Wars when you were talking about, you have to train yourself. You got to make it happen. You got to make it happen. I love that.
Exactly. How do we fix it? But see, to fix it is going to require self-mastery, preparation, commitment, and action. Okay, you and I we're not going to change our mindset overnight. Think about it. Average person is 30 years old and you have a specific way of thinking with condition. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Just like if you have to look at it, if you take a dirty a cup of water, right? If you put a lot of dirt in a cup of water, right? It's dirty, right? In a glass of water. Now, if you take that same dirt, right? It looks dirty, right? If you put it under a faucet, right? And the water keeps running out, and water keeps running, guess what happened? The water becomes what? It becomes muddy, nasty. But if you keep running under, guess what happens? Eventually, all the dirt comes out. And the water and the glass becomes clear. Something that was dirty and muddy all of a sudden becomes clearer. And that's what's going to happen, right? You have to set a big goal for yourself. Number one is, if people are not laughing at your goals, then your goals are not big enough.
Yes.
If people are not laughing at your goals are not big. You have to set big goals, because the only thing that gets people excited is big goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it's important to have big goals? Because when we have big goals, we invite God to help us.
Because they're big.
They're
we
big.
can't do it by ourselves.
We can't do it by ourselves.
Good.
This is why we have to set big goals, right? Because we invite God, you invite divine, you get divine, right? Because if something you could do that's easy, God's not going to, right or wrong. Oh God, help me wake up in the morning to go to work. That's not, you don't need God, you don't need to pray for that. You know what I'm saying? You just do it.
That's big.
Exactly, right? See, once you decide what you want, you have to believe that you're worthy of that goal. You have to really put an advertising campaign on yourself. Yes, I'm worthy of that goal. Yes, I'm worthy of that income. Yes, I'm worthy of that fee. You have to start creating an advertising campaign on yourself so you can get your thinking the right way. Work on yourself on a daily basis. Train your mind to actually be that kind of person, right? See, when you're not pursuing a goal, you're committing sometimes, and people don't like when I'm saying this, you're committing spiritual suicide when not pursuing the goals. Because what happens? You're killing your spirit. You're just killing when you're not pursuing goals. See, our minds, we are designed to go after goals. Our mind, we're designed to be better. The human body is designed to go after something. We are designed, not only we're supposed to go after something, right or wrong. We're not doing that. You're just killing yourself. If you find people, what happens? You don't have goals. They're not pursuing anything. It's like they're just waiting to die.
Yeah, your spirit is withering away. Yeah,
you're just withering away. It's just like you're like, hey, how you doing? Same old, same old. That's just the way it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Another day, another dollar. Hey, just happy. All these.
Yes, that's what people say.
All these things that people say, they don't realize when you're saying these things, what you're causing, what you're creating in your spirit, right?
So good. Bernard is preaching today.
You have to say, I deserve the life, what life has to offer. Right? And you have to write down, what is it that I deserve that goal? Write down, why do I deserve that goal? Right? And list 5 reasons why you deserve that goal. Makes sense? Very important, right? That's number one. Number 2 is you have to think positive, right? And when people here think positive, they think it's like a Pollyanna, like, oh, everything's awesome, right? Everything. No, that's not what it is. See, you must be positive. You have to make a conscious, deliberate effort to be positive. We see it's easy for weeds to grow. Makes sense? It's just normal. It's easy. We are usually programmed to just be negative. It's just normal to be negative. Normal nature. You have to work hard to be positive. It's something you have to work at, right? You have to start working at it. And guess what happens? You're gonna get better. I look at different. Sometimes things happen. I'm like, you know what? Whatever, you know, it just doesn't affect, right? And number 1, practice makes improvement, not perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. You have to practice. Perfect doesn't exist. Practice makes improvement. You have to really practice being positive. I have to practice. I have to work at being positive because I had low self-esteem. I suffered for something called imposter syndrome, right? Where I was afraid, like people, oh my gosh, because I had so many flaws, I feel people are gonna find out about you, right? You think about that, right? And you have to, and that happens as human nature, because you think about, because the enemy will try to remind you of all the things that you've done wrong. Oh, you messed up this. Remember when you did this? Remember when you tried doing this? Remember this? Remember what you did? You don't deserve. See, you're gonna hear that all the time. So you gotta work hard, right? See, what happened, there's a big African prophecy. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. And what happens is most of the things that we say is the game is won and lost right here. right? If there's no enemy within, what your thoughts, what's going on, what you're thinking about, right? And a lot of times you sometimes you hear this, you hear the scripture, right? No weapons formed against me shall prosper,
Yes.
right? But a lot of times is you better not be the weapon. Sometimes we are our own weapon. We are the weapons formed against us. We are creating our own weapons in our minds. We're creating that.
Man, you're just dropping some truth today.
Right? And number two, you gotta feel great about yourself. You have value. You have value. You have to feel great about yourself. You have to feel good about it. You have to start saying, I'm a good person. You have to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you make, you're gonna make. I'll tell you what, listen, I promise you one thing. I'm gonna make mistakes. I promise you one thing I can promise you, I will say something wrong. It's not my intent, but I might say something wrong. See, you have value. Right?
Yeah.
If you think about, I like to use the analogy. If you take a $20 bill or $100 bill, guess what happens? If you crimple up, right, it's worth $20. It's worth $100. If you crimple it up, you throw it on the floor, guess what happened? How much is worth? It's still worth $100.
Still,
if you it, it's still why? Because it has value. You have value. So you might get beat up, you might get down, you might fail, you might, right? But guess what happened? You still have value. You're still important. Right? See, all of us are winners. Just some of us are producing results that we don't want. All of us are winners. All of us are winners. Every single person. One of the worst words, I hate the word loser. This is like the worst word. I hear that word, I like cringe. Right? People could curse all they want. It doesn't bump as much the word lose. It's like that word for some reason is just it makes me cringe. All of us are winners. Yes, you are a winner, and that's why I was trying to. I was trying to get the kids. You know, I'm looking at the kids, and really, I got excited, but I was like sad because a lot of them they're like, oh my gosh, they're listening, but like they're doubting themselves. They're like, I just saw their face. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do right. And they're like, no, you're not talking. I'm like, yeah, that's why I had to let them know that when I look at you, I look at the future millionaires of the United States. I look at the future.
Yes. That was the perfect way to close. When you closed with that, oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's what I see. That's what I see. I don't see the person I got to see on that test. I don't see the person that messed up. Maybe your mom, dad, or said something wrong, or you can't mess up. You'll never. I don't see that person. But this is because you know what? And it's not because anything I say, because God has said it.
That's right.
And Jeremiah 29, guess what? He says, yes, I have plans for you to succeed, not for you to fail.
Right.
It's not because anything I say, anything would say, because you were promised. You were promised. You and I were promised a great life. You and I promised, and and that's why you're going to become successful. It's because of that. That's why whatever if you put God, guess what happened? Again, and there's principles that we have to follow that can help succeed, because God doesn't say, I want to become successful. God wants us to be faithful. And his principles. And then faith in those principles will bring you success in everything in your life. That's exactly what Paul was talking about, training yourself. If you train yourself with right principle, right way, in every aspect of your life, you will succeed in the process. Make sense?
So good. So good.
Right? Again, number 4, you got to take massive action. You have to take massive action. You have to take that first step. Take massive action. See, there is no safe position. See, you can't get out of life alive. You can either die in the bleachers or die in the field. You can be a spectator and you can die, right? If you think about it, you can either listen. The Super Bowl is happening in a couple of weeks. About this team, that team, and things like that. So you want to be a fan, or you want to get on the field and get your own ring and get your own championships, right? You have to think about that, right? You have to stop being a spectator. We have at one point in life, we have to stop watching other people get the life, get the success that we deserve for ourselves.
Yeah.
It has to come a point. We have to stop. We have to okay, man, this person, we have to stop. We have to stop doing that, right? And number 5, to wrap it all up, listen, you have to buckle up for the ride. Listen, success is not linear. Success is like ups, and it's like a roller coaster ride, right? See, and think, and I want to share some with you, right? when you get on a plane, the first thing you have to do when you get on a plane is what? They ask you to what? Fasten your seatbelt, right? The reason they tell you to fasten your seatbelt, because why? Because on the way up, you're going to get some turbulence. You're going to get some turbulence on the way up. And it's the same thing. Why? What's the reason you get turbulence? When you're trying to go from, let's say, one atmospheric pressure to another, you get turbulence, right? So whenever you're trying to go from one level in your life to the next level in life, you're going to face a lot of turbulence. That means things are going to, whenever you get resistance doesn't mean you're supposed to pull back and go back down. Resistance, that means you're supposed to get to the next level as soon as possible.
Right.
Again, when you get resistance, that means you're supposed to get to the next level. Guess what happens? They tell you, hold on, some turbulence, right? Guess what happened? Then what does the pilot do? He gets a little bit higher. Now you're free to walk around the cabin.
Yes.
And that's what's going to happen. And that's why so whenever you face resistance, things don't go the right way. It's not a sign for you to go back. It's a sign for you to go forward.
Yes. And then you reach that altitude when it's smooth.
You're about to have that breakthrough. You need to get there, right? See, and life is like a roller coaster, right? When you learn who you are during the tough times. Life, and if you think about it, right? I like to ask the question: when is the best? When do you get off a roller coaster? The best time to get off a roller coaster is when it stops.
Correct. Please.
It's when it stops. You don't get off a roller coaster when it's on the way up. You don't try to jump out. You don't try to jump on the way down. You don't try to, especially upside down. You definitely don't want to get off upside down. You get off when it stops.
So good.
When it stops. So after you go up and downs and you say, oh my gosh, guess what happens? When it stops, when you get to your destination, you say, wow, that was awesome. It was scary. It was bumpy, but that was awesome.
But it was awesome.
It was awesome. Right? Exactly. Listen, if you can look up, you can get up. If you can look up, you can get up, you know? And again, don't worry what people think. I believe the best revenge, if people have doubted you, have questioned you, and the best revenge is massive success. Massive success. Become massively, and whatever success means to you. Success means different things to different people. Whatever it means to you, but go for it. But this is a time that this is your time for you to go for it. The best time to go is right now, 2026.
Let's do it.
This is the best time. This is our time. This is your time. Go for your goals. Go for it. Have the courage. It's not going to be easy, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. But ultimate goal is for you to feel great about yourself.
This was so good.
For you to look, the ultimate goal, the most important thing is you look yourself in the mirror when it's all said and done and says, hey, I went for it.
Yeah.
I went for it.
So good.
That's it. That's ultimate goal. And guess what happens? You'll be proud of yourself, right? And when we go meet our maker, and when they ask you, what did you do what I gave you? I can say, hey, I did it.
Yep. So good. Listen, you're getting a lot of comments here, especially with the emojis, because this was the perfect training for emojis. We got lots of emojis going on because it was so good with the different examples that you were giving, which was so good. I honestly have 2 pages of notes. I don't know how many pages of notes you have, Jen Ludwig. I know you're going to watch this at some point. I got 2 pages of notes here. This was so good. And not just notes. I feel like I have some statuses going on here with social media. Die on the bleachers or die on the field. You decide where you're. That's so exactly. The other one was the proverb that you said. It said, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm.
Yes, absolutely.
So many great points. Thank you, Bernard. This was fantastic. Yo, this was so good. You have to share it. Share it with other folks. Let them know that we're here on YouTube and they could catch the replay. We're going to start as soon as we log off here. Bernard and I are going to chat really quickly because we want to create in the archives of Facebook, we want to create playlists, and these playlists are going to be different. There'll be a playlist of women in finance, and we'll have all the episodes that have to do with women. Then we'll have investments, all the episodes that have to do with investing, life insurance, all the episodes. So wherever you're thinking about or you need somebody to look into, you could just send them to the playlist. Okay,
Absolutely.
guys?
Awesome. Wow, that'd be great. Yes.
It's going to be awesome. I love it so much. All right, Bernard.
Take care, guys. Stay warm. It's freezing. What are you? I think the whole country is frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I had to pull out coats and ski hats, and I thought I'd use it in Florida, but I guess I had to this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. When we were at the school, everybody had coats on. It looked like we were in New York somewhere. But to our friends in New York and those that are watching, up north, we're praying for you guys. So stay warm. This is fantastic. We got some folks watching on Instagram. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Bernard.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition. And until then, keep building your empire.